you go, loads up, little initialization boot screen. Now, when you get to this in the game, it will be grayed out in elements, and the quest lines, which you will start from a message, note the window is movable and resizable, will tell you information coming from here. And it's you in a chat room, and it's obviously because you're going to diegetically be inside Telegram at some point. This is seeding for transfer to the Telegram group, which will also have NPC AIs in there seeding the social cohesion. And we're also going to have a discourse forum on here, which people will be able to use out of character or in character. But this will lead you through a quest line that leads you to decode various elements, do little mental puzzles, and then slowly sync together your first propaganda episode, which has been sent back in time by the question marked character. And that will give you the narration of what's going on, the exposition, sorry, not narration, of what's going on, why you're needed, and how you can help. And then it kind of finishes. So it's only 4 minutes of video assembled in 4 segments as you lead through these quests. But the crucial part of this quest is we are assessing psychometric profiling in terms of NKQ, which we call neural kinetic quotient, which is akin to an IQ. And we're also looking at your psychometric profiling to understand a little bit more about your motivations and things that you enjoy and have affinity for. So the desktop, at the moment, obviously all the icons are fixed because we have to render some things static. You got a my computer area, which doesn't actually link to your computer at this point, but in the future it might well. Or if we produce an agentic OS, will act in that kind of way. Documents will have all of the diegetic information. So right now these are placeholders, but there will in there be white paper, manifesto, character sheets, skill guides, all this kind of stuff. So as people produce other content, somebody might write a guide to being a weaver or guide to being a resonance tuner. That information will be available on a forum, but it'll also get deposited in the documents if you click on it and you want to save it. Again, we were trying to make this a sticky hub of retention. My pictures at the moment is screenshots, signal captures, and wallpapers. Signal captures are quest related. Wallpapers will actually allow you to change your desktop wallpaper, and you will be generating these with a Comfy UI generative AI image pipeline that we will bolt into this. And we'll use the same methodology that we use for music asset generation and texture asset generation, which is allowing people to skin the world that they live in. So that'll be a different folder in there, and it will contain all of their assets. They will be able to trade those assets. Why? Because essentially speaking, we create an NFT of that asset and allows them to create as many as they want to sell and trade, which we can then generate revenue. Then there is the music player. Now the music player, again, is basically Winamp in a browser available for you, ready to go. And at the moment, you can only play the tracks that you get default with the game. But as you build tracks in the next part that I'm going to show you, which will unlock after you've done the quest line that gets to this, it'll only unlock with 2 free generations initially, but then once you're actually onboarded, you can choose to unlock specifically that as a modular music generation subscription. So let's launch this up now. Let's run this in a window to start off with. Okay, wants me to log in with a name. We will sync this to player profiles once we hook it all up, but let's call it demo. Get started. Brilliant. Okay, now let's make it full screen. And let me have a look actually for an old prompt video element, which takes us to the video studio. Now, we will be asking people in a Zeely-like manner to distribute the music that they make on YouTube as a viral marketing tool. You can see that particle effect of the strands is there. It syncs to music. They can choose a specific style in color presets for the particle effects. They can choose a different background image. They'll also be able to generate that. They could even choose a video that they've already made. Now, once they put that together and then add the text, like this bit at the bottom, we could say, welcome to layer U, right? And now you see it says welcome to layer U at the bottom there. And then we can add more layers of text, and we can add effects, which would be how much it vibrates when the bass goes on a track, digital glitches, VHS mode, take that off, CCTV mode, which we actually use in the game, scan lines, which we already use on the website, aberrations, which I don't really like, bloom, which is a brightness control, film graining, pixelation, strobing, works on bass hits, so it's noise synced. So it listens to the music, it then helps you edit it together. Cinematic bars, all these elements can be put together. You click rendo and it will run. Aside from that, let's have a look at this music. So here are some old lyrics that I put together already. Just going to cut and paste them in. I'm looking off screen at the screen with that on. Right, here we go. These are AI generated lyrics, and we can actually plug an AI into this to do it, but obviously we don't want to spend money. Maybe we could use a free tier of DeepSeek to generate lyrics. And then likewise, we can tweak the prompts in that way. Now, this functionality is actually almost better than Suno because we do have a capability within this ACE-Step 5 open sourced product to create LoRa's or low rank algorithms, which basically compress the model's inference capability into a specific mode. And we can also do that by uploading a cover song. And technically speaking, you can upload anything, even purchased music right now, and then do a cover of that track. And it will it's okay for copyright because it's a cover version, right? But for now, I'm not going to go into the depths. I'm just going to call this demo API because this is actually running on my machine, the server. We would run this on a real server, and when you guys want to demo this, let me know. I'll boot the server up so you can do it remotely. And you can change parameters like the BPM. Let's make this quite fast, and you could choose what key it's in, and there are various advanced settings. But I'm going to just click on this now to give you an idea of how fast this is running. So as you can see right now, it says demo API. It's running there. These will all disappear when it finishes, and you'll see 2 generations. Now, uploads are cleared because we're in demo mode right now, but when it is actually a live game, these will be available for everybody to see. I haven't put a volume control on this, so bear with me while this gets a bit noisy. Oh, I have got a volume control on this.
Midnight city, pixel rain, your signal cuts through my brain. Every touch like data streams, pull me deeper in your dream. Leaves a heart in overdrive. You're the code that keeps me alive. Every line I can't ignore. Yeah, you're everything I'm searching for. Feel the voltage when you're near. Stay higher. Take me higher.
But I like the fact that we can use open source for this, and I think it's in the ethos of our decentralized open source kind of build it ourselves manner that we do this. Okay, so I'm just going to shut that down. Signal Reg is it's going to be your character card, and it would contain your founder's past picture, which is on this page. An example. Now, these are examples of the founders' past pictures. They can be customized, so they will be roughly $30 each. They're basically a founder's NFT, as you would imagine in the olden days. However, once you bought it, you've then got the background, you've then got the body and the pose. You are able to face swap yourself into that to create your own and mint your own unique PFP, which is you in the game. And then that original kind of template you can then resell. So it encourages a secondary market for pretty cool kind of poses. If people manage to get the best one, people will probably like the cybernetic organism guys with helmets on, which they're not going to face swap. They're going to want to hold on to them, so they'll become more and more legendary. The NFT economy is not that important there. So I already told you about the messages. The CPU VPU bridge, that is basically your character sheet. It shows you the level of your skills in various sectors, shows you how close you are to bridging to the future, and where you are in your sync journey. The codex is actually what we have on the main site, but it's embedded in an iframe here with no nav to the main site. Eventually, this site will be incorporated as a sub games.strandsnation.xyz of the main site. Signal monitor is another element which ties into tuning with broadcast video. So there's actually a game behind this where as the wave moves up and down, you have got to move your mouse with it and try and balance it, and it will move quite violently at times. And you basically got to with haptic feedback as well, keep the signal bar in the middle to keep playing the video. Memories is our portable LLM sovereignty, and if we click on the README, it takes you through to the GitHub, and you will see it works. I use it every day. It allows you to take all of the context in one LLM, save it as a compressed, basically we use vowel stripping and emojis, context of what you were just discussing. The next version of this will have a little mini LLM that does some contextual curation and then strips out all the, hey, hi, how you doing? Oh, you're a dickhead. Why did you fucking say that when you got mistakes going on in your context, right? And it'll actually distill the salient points. Once you get those salient points out, you've got a much smaller point that you may have filled an entire, or I regularly fill an entire context menu with. You drag and drop that text message into any other LLM, and you can do it with any of the LLMs right now. Currently, we support GPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok, DeepSeek, Perplexity, Kimi, Z.ai, and Poe. Poe is not working that well. I've dragged and dropped between every single one of those LLMs, conversation with one, take it to the other, and it's also a good way to cross-reference and check that you are being told the right thing, because AIs singularly are not always reliable. So that takes you to install it as a developer version of a Chrome extension. Reason being is it's not in the store. 8 months ago when I first started this, they wouldn't pass it for acceptance into the store. I kind of think they were gatekeeping me from basically increasing Gemini's context window. But let's have a look at my consent. Now, this is very important. Right now it says green for everything, but actually this ties in with your Telegram auth, where you initially get to this page. You will already have given us your phone number, your Telegram user name, and your date of birth. Those two things are ostensibly to ensure that you are a real human being and you are over 18. But in practice, obviously, that's appended to your profile, and under your consent is possible to make your data worth more money should you choose to participate in data reclamation from the attention redistribution engine. Down here is the voice sync. Now that also ties to this. You literally say a phrase like, my voice is myself and this is my consent. By saying that, what you're actually doing is submitting to a voice recording, which then will play back your in-game thoughts to you through your headphones, and that will allow you to feel even more immersed in the game. So then we have some, I'm going to go in reverse order here, but we've got some mini games which are part of the quests. These are all vibe coded. So this one is a simple tumbler alignment game, which allows you to reconnect a circuit. And then once you've reconnected the circuit, you can then progress. So first thing I'm going to do is move this one around. Let me make it a bit bigger. Get these aligned as quickly as possible. Okay, that might work. No, that doesn't work. That works. Okay. That works. Let's do that one. It took me 20 moves. Earlier on, I did it in 10. Gives you more score or less score based on how fast you complete it. There are harder versions. There are more physically haptic feedback, rotating kind of elements or sliding elements, allowing you to basically complete that puzzle, unlock another part of the text quiz. This is this is at the moment, it's kind of just a fun little app, but it will be useful. And this is basically, I don't know if you've ever played Arkanoid or Space Invader type games before. This one, you scroll along, it gets faster as you go. You kill things. As you kill them, you get more points. You complete a wave, you get a bonus. You pick up a box. Close that down. There is a pause menu for that, but for some reason it wasn't working. And then this is signal training. Now, this is not the game engine, okay? This is purely an example of web-coded 3JS. It is not the game proper, okay? So you go in, we're calibrating, you can see that the environment is sketchy and the gun is not really very well defined, and this is super basic. But okay, so let's follow this to sync. So let's go forward a little bit. Okay, we can see we've got to do something here. Looks like there's a barrier ahead. I think we have to jump. So let's jump. We had to look around first, so we're looking around. It is laggy, but you see my world materialization went up a little bit there because of my looking up. Now I'm going to jump over this barrier, and I'm going to jump over this barrier. So yeah, that's basically in a nutshell how the desktop OS works. Once you finish the text quest and you've gone through those little mini games and you've done the little tutorial bit, that's the bit where we want them to move to the desktop client. So because they kind of like feel the need to progress to get to the next part. Your own things. They'll have generated their own textures by that point. They'll have generated their voice. They'll have heard their voice. They will have seen good, clean 3D prior to finishing this onboarding experience. We need to get the validation of how the onboarding experience is working, what people are enjoying, optimize it. These are the phases where now we want to bring in devs to work with us and continue on. Yeah, that's where we are. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.